So surface anatomy for the cervicothoracic junction. What we're going to be starting off with is we're going to find the transverse process for C7, and that's going to be typically our most prominent. But to confirm that is we're going to come in, we're going to place our middle finger over the spinous process of C7, our index finger over C6. When he extends his head, I should feel that C6 move ventrally and come out of the way. So I'm going to come down from C6, C7, and I'm going to mark C7 here. Actually, I'm going to come down and mark T1. T1, T2. As we come down and we feel the spinous processes, we're going to feel them start to slope down. T3, so here's 1, 2, 3, and as we come down, we'll feel that interspinous space. T4, and now it slopes down even further. T5, and we want to go down to the T6 level because we know with upper extremity motion, we have motion of the thoracic spine all the way down to T6. So once we've identified our spinous processes, now we're going to find our transverse processes. And that's going to be very important for us, especially when we're looking at our rotation. As we know, when we raise our arm up, our spine is going to rotate in that direction. So to find the transverse processes, we know the rule that because as the transverse processes slope down, we know that we're going to find, the spinous processes slope down, we're going to find the transverse processes for T1 and 2 is going to be 1 finger's width above. And we look at our patient's finger and we see, so it's just a little bit wider than mine, so we're going to come up a little bit. We're going to find that if we drop down from the mastoid process here, this is going to be the transverse processes for T1, here and here. We also know that as we come down, our transverse processes are going to go more medial, so they're going to be located closer to the spinous processes. So T2 again is 1 finger's width. We're going to come in here and palpate. We're going to feel just a little bit of a divot. So this is going to be the transverse process for T1. This is the transverse process for T2. T3 is 2 fingers width above because now that spinous process is starting to slope even further. So 2 fingers width. Here is the transverse process for T3. 2 fingers width above. Here's 3, 2, and 1. And the same thing for T4. It's 2 fingers width above. And now we have it sloped even more. And now for T5, actually going down to T8, it's 3 fingers above. So if we look, it's actually almost just right across from T4. So this is T5. And 3 fingers width above here. And again, 3 fingers width here for the transverse process for T6. So it's not as hard as it seems, and I know if you haven't had this in school, this can be feeling more intimidating. But if you look, once you find T1, you can come down. T2 we see lined up typically with the superior angle of the scapula, T3 with the spine of the scapula. How we find our transverse processes of T1, we drop down from the mastoid process, we go 1 finger's width above, and we follow that down. So here's transverse processes for 1 and 2, we see 2 fingers above for T3 and 4, and 3 fingers width for T5 and 6.